saw me tired, no words I needed.
Right, can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? Okay. Yeah, welcome everyone. Start again. I thought I'd do another live show. I did one a couple of days ago. Basically talked about the transfer window. Really what I want to talk about tonight is, I want to ask a couple of questions. One of them is the transfer window over? And the second one is, are we a selling club? Because we're selling players. We've sold Fabinho, we've sold Henderson. We've had a number of players that have left the club on free transfers. We don't seem to be involved in any of the big deals. Declan Rice went, Kudos is gone, Alvarez is gone, Tchouaméni, Jude Bellingham, all of these players have all moved on to clubs. We're not involved in them. We're not involved in any of them. Okay, we had a brief involvement in Lavia and Caicedo, but we just got pushed aside. Like, I feel like we're a selling club. I feel like FSG are maybe moving their assets on for a sale. Like, I don't know. There's so much talk around Saudi Arabia now after Salah. Saudi Arabia have looked at Diaz. Saudi Arabia now looking at Alisson. You know, is Trent next? Is Virgil van Dijk next? You know, Chelsea have there's rumours going around of Chelsea looking at Nunes. Like if the money's right, are we selling players? Like, are we moving players on? Are we vetoing Klopp on whether players are staying or going? Like, I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting to find out what people think about Salah. Like, would you sell Salah? Yes or no? And what would be your minimum price? Like, for me, he's just signed a new contract, but it's only a 2-year extension. So, would 100, 130 million, 100 million, would that be a suitable price? Neymar's just gone for 85. Neymar's 31 as well. You know, Neymar's considerably done a lot more, won a lot more. You know, would you class Neymar better than Salah? Because if you do, then Salah should be going for 85 million. Like I don't know. Like this is kind of the conversation that we need to have. You know, I was on Endman's show before talking about Salah, and there was a mass consensus that people would like Salah to leave. Like a lot of people are saying that he's past it. Like Ben Doak's ready. Like, are you out of your mind? Like Ben Doak hasn't scored a goal. Like he hasn't got an assist. like I don't understand that argument. Like Ben Doak is nowhere near, anywhere near any kind of replacement to Salah. Like the only replacement for Salah is Saka or Neymar or Mbappe. Like, you know, where are you going to get those kind of goals from the wing from? There's no other players out there like that can score that many goals and provide that many assists. Like for me, I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, but I think the main conversation is the whole structure and the formation needs to change to accommodate not having Salah. And then if you're not having Salah in the team, you certainly aren't going to have the manager, because the manager isn't going to change the formation. Like it's 4-3-3 or death. That's just the way it is. Big up, Paul. If anyone wants to jump in, feel free. Like Chris, Albert, Paul, like feel free to come in and have a chat if you want. Otherwise, I'll just carry on. I just think it's really interesting, and we seem to have a lot of conversation around the fact that there's no way Salah's being sold. Well, I'm sorry, but the biggest outlet in the Middle East, Al Jazeera, has already said he's agreed his contract. So, you know, where does that sit? Like, that can't be fake. Like, we need to have this conversation. Like, hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right. I was on Endman's show before, and we were talking about Salah, and
I thought something was wrong with my laptop. I'm like, yo, I can't hear you at all.
oh no, it's connected. I make music as well, so I've got a music program.
Oh, okay.
Sound was running through Ableton Live. Have you heard of Ableton Live?
Ableton Live? No, I can look it up though.
I make music through it, like so. The sound was running through there, so I've just had to switch it back. Yeah, thanks for telling us though, because I would have carried on for like another 5 minutes before I noticed. Yeah, so I was on Endman's show, and you got like Savage saying sell Salah, and you got like Zaberi saying, well, you know, he's not been that good, so we could probably do better. And I'm like,
okay,
am I missing the point here? Like, where do those goals and assists come from?
So I'm a bit confused now where they're coming from, because it's like he hasn't been good in what aspects? Statistically, that's wrong, because
It's wrong.
That's wrong statistically. Now, if we're talking about eye testing, that's maybe a bit different. But statistically speaking, he's up there. Yeah, I think he was like one shy from 20 in the league, but still those numbers are pretty good, especially if you consider his age, if you consider how the team was performing last year as well. I think he did pretty decent. But do I believe he could have performed better last year? Yeah, but I don't think he's declining like in that state.
How many dogs have you got?
I have one.
Okay.
I have the maintenance man here, so he's like going crazy.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna mute myself every time you ask a question. I'll mute myself.
Okay. So Paul, I think the interesting thing about the 200 million mark is, if you're going to judge Salah at that price, then, you know, Neymar went for 85 million, and Neymar's the same age. He's done more. Like, my argument is, how do you value that 200 million? Like, you can't value it on age. You can't value it on the player, really, because he's 31. So I'm not sure where the 200 million comes from, because if you're looking at Mbappe's value is 185 million, I think. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and he's 25 years old, and he's won a lot more. like, but he hasn't won Champions League, okay, but he's won a lot more, like as international and also on a league level. Like, is it 200 million as in a value to Liverpool, or is it 200 million value to what for the player? Because he's not worth 200 million. I'm sorry, he's just not. Like if he was like 25 and he signed a 5-year contract, then I can see where you're coming from. But he's 31 and he's got a 2-year extension. Like he's going to regress. He's going to go downhill from here. So I think 100 million is a very, very acceptable offer, like for a player.
I actually agree with you, K-Mark, in regards to like he only extended 2 years, right? So that means his contract expires when 2026.
Yeah.
So
same as Klopp's.
Okay, so it would make sense when you look at it in a standpoint of business, right? Like we have been letting players leave on a free, which I think is very stupid in my opinion. To cash in on him next year, in my opinion, if we're trying to get money off him.
I always thought we would next year. I never seen him staying another year. I always thought Saudi would come in next year and he'd be gone. You know, because they didn't get Messi and they didn't get Mbappe. I thought, well, they'll probably go for him next year, but it looks like they're not. Think about it though, is that team? Haven't they got Benzema as well?
Yeah, they do. But apparently I heard the coach Nuno
wants to leave.
Santos, he doesn't want him. He doesn't fit apparently his system.
I mean, it's not like they've got a great coach. Espirito Santos is not a great manager. I'm sorry. Like, and if you're going to play the football you played at Wolves, then that's quite boring football, like in Saudi Arabia. But then if you're going to play the way you played at Tottenham, then you're going to get your ass handed to you as well. So, like, where'd you go on that one?
Hey man, why is this guy coming at me, man? Leave me alone, man.
Oh, is someone coming at you?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the chat. Hang on.
But love for you, man.
Come on, Corvo. Easy. Chris is.
No, it's fine. It's just jokes and stuff. Yeah, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
That guy's interesting though. I can't say his name, but like I think they paid like maybe 2 million for him or something.
Was it? It was like I know for sure it was like less than 10 million for sure, but
I think it was like 2.5 million. I think it was really low, you know, from some random team. For me, I mean, he's got 140 million euro release clause or something, I think.
Are you sure? I don't think he has a release clause, but I remember when they were I remember when they were asking for him in January. The you know how difficult their owner is. He's like 100 million minimum. Like he's not going for.
Yeah, he's a really hard.
He's gifted. Like I have like in regards to like dribbling, like maybe Neymar, maybe in regards to like he's in that level of like dribbling, like Hazard, maybe Neymar, like he's in that table. Like he's very gifted in regards to like how he, you know, the ball sticks to him.
I agree, but
he hasn't
got the goals output either. He hasn't got the goals output, but he's got assists.
Yeah, he's like a 10 to 15 goals, 10 goals, 15 assists a season type player.
The interesting thing about him though is when the Osimhen guy was out, because he was out for a couple of games, they lost a load of they like drew and lost games, and he didn't play very well. And I think they play. Is he going at you again?
Isn't your team? Well, I don't. Can you rewrite the question, brother? I don't know what you mean by that. Isn't your team us from 2010 now?
Is he Newcastle? I think he's Newcastle. So I think he's. I don't know. Unless he right. I don't know.
Okay.
No, but I'm gonna put a different banner up because I think this might need to go up. Okay, there you go. Different banner. All right. Okay. So what I remember last year is Kashivali. If I said that right or not, I don't know. But when Osimhen wasn't in the team, He didn't play that well. So it's like those two have like some kind of mad chemistry. Isn't that right, Albert? Albert will back me up on this one.
Yeah.
Albert,
What's up?
are you literally sponsored by Liverpool FC's shop? Because you've got like new kit on every single day.
He does.
I'm not complaining. Like, some of the stuff's lovely.
I eat, live, and breathe Liverpool. That's why that's why I'm speechless at how they choose to conduct their attitude with respect to our team. But hey.
So so we were talking about players that might be able to kind of step in Salah's place. Dude, I'm gonna kick you out in a minute.
This guy's hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
No,
We're trying to be really serious. Stop making us laugh. Yes.
What's in the chat? What's in the chat that I'm not seeing? Man?
No, he's asking. He wants you to get him one of those IDs, those fake IDs.
He wants a McLovin ID.
Yeah. So what were you asking? Sorry.
So we were talking about players that might be able to come in on the right wing and kind of pick up the slack of what Salah would leave behind. Is it Cavaschelli or Cavachella?
But he's
Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
But he's not a right winger. He's a left winger.
He's a left
winger.
Oh,
that's a good point. He is a left winger. Yeah.
He's a left winger. Yeah. He can play the 10, but we don't play with a 10.
And good luck with anybody who wants to do business with Napoli, because it almost always doesn't turn out right. Yeah. For me, if we are going to replace Salah, the best player pound for player is Mohamed Kudus. For me.
He's going to West Ham now.
It's not completed yet. And look, today he played for Ajax against Ludogorets. He scored a hat-trick. He actually scored twice within the first 13 minutes from the same place that Salah plays.
Or maybe Klopp watched that game.
Sorry?
Maybe Klopp watched that game. It's a shame they're not playing us, because if they play us, then he'll probably sign him.
Well, he's already scored a goal at Anfield when Ajax came to play in the Champions League.
Yeah, no, it was a screamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
an absolute
so they know him. They followed him to the World Cup. They sent two people, including that Barry, whatever his name is,
Barry Hunter.
To Qatar to observe him. But you see, I have this theory.
He played really well.
I have this theory. Well, he scored 2 goals and had an assist. So
wasn't that the game he got injured?
He played as well as anybody could play. But I have this theory that there are other things that go more into them selecting a player that they buy than playing ability. Because for £35 million from Ajax, who seem to be in some sort of financial trouble, Mohamed Kudus is a no-brainer, because he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play as a centre forward, he can even play as a six.
He's basically another Mane for us.
Exactly.
Why don't you want to get another Mane in?
He can play as a defensive midfielder, as a 6. So
crazy.
What is it that they are not seeing? But this morning, those of us who are on, and I think Chris is a little later than me. He wakes up a little later than me. But basically, I'm sure Chris is going to back me up on what I'm saying. Whenever you wake up in the morning and you want to read something positive about Liverpool, and you turn to either the Liverpool tweets or the Liverpool journals or something, there's always something stupid that you read. I'll tell you the stupid that I read this morning. This morning, we are looking at buying a player called Mats Wiefer.
Oh, I know, yeah.
From Feyenoord, right? From Feyenoord?
Yeah, from Feyenoord. And let me be
Feyenoord, yeah.
honest with you, and this is just honest.
Max?
I knew absolutely fuck all about what he does. So you remember I asked you in our WhatsApp group that what does he do? Who is he and what does he do? You
Oh,
remember
I didn't know
asked
you were asking about him. Sorry, I didn't know you were
Yeah,
asking about him.
yeah. So
okay.
I went to Google before I found out he's a defensive midfielder for Feyenoord. Completely uninspiring. So when you ask if they go and buy him and you ask who are the starting midfielders for Liverpool, is Endo and Wifa. Endo and Wifa sounds like a fucking musical group, innit? Simon and Garfunkel, right? You're
Sounds
the
like a
music guy.
disease.
Simon and
Sounds
fucking
like you've got a
Garfunkel,
disease.
like a bridge. Yeah, like a bridge over troubled water. What the fuck is that all about?
Sounds like you need to go to the doctors.
Make a statement, fucking sign in FSG. What the fuck is that? Right?
You know what I read about him, Albert?
Doesn't that sound like a boy band? Doesn't that sound like a boy band 10 good? Endo and Weaver. Doesn't that sound like a boy band? What was that?
Sounds like you're smoking
Right?
the weefer.
This exactly. Endo smokes the reefer, right? That's what the fuck is wrong with that?
I know.
And then as you go on in the afternoon, you hear that they want to sell Mo Salah. What the fuck is that all about? More fucking Salah? Are you people fucking nuts?
I know.
You fucking crazy?
Do you want to know what's funny as well? I looked up this Weefer, sorry, whoever his name is. I looked him up. He's 23.
Weefer, what the fuck?
He's 23 and he's only played 43 games. He's only played 43 games for Feyenoord, like in the main team. Like he must have broke into the first team like when he was 22. I'm sorry. He doesn't pass the test for playing enough games for me. Yeah.
You know, you bring him. We've done it before. Didn't we buy Seb Van der Berg?
DM,
Has he
by the
played a
way.
single game for Liverpool? Sorry?
Sorry? What's that?
Has Seb Van der Berg played a single game for Liverpool? Has he?
No, I think he played a Champions League game. I think he might have played.
I don't even know what he looks like. Seb fucking Van der Berg. Listen,
I don't understand why he's not got a game, like, or even in the squad still. Like he's 22.
Who, Seb Van der Berg?
Yeah,
Van der Berg?
he's like 21, 22.
Because his foot is always broken. That's why.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
His foot, I'm sure maybe one of his feet is size 6 and the other one is size 7. Because his foot is always fucking broken. Ever since that guy signed for Liverpool, his foot has been broken.
Well, ever since anyone signs for Liverpool, their feet are broken.
He should get some good titanium welds.
That's a really good point. What Luke's just wrote. We are turning into the Dutch national team, and they're shit.
because there's a pecuniary interest from somebody. To sign Dutch players. That's it. That's why I keep asking the question, and I'm asking you, K-Man, because you seem to have a lot of background information. Is there any ulterior motive behind signing players that we don't know about? Because I don't get it. If we bought Edson Alvarez, 35 million. We bought Mohamed Kudus, 35 million. And we have Endo, 16 million. Our problems are solved. No? Finish.
Yeah, solved.
Problem solved. Right?
Problem solved.
Done.
Yeah.
Because both of them can play center back. Both of them can play DM. Both of them can play as fullbacks. And you have somebody, Kudus, who walks into the team instead of Elliott. Right?
Yeah.
And when you say go and buy Kudus, somebody says, oh, it will stunt the progress of Elliott. Really?
I don't give a shit. Like, loan him out.
Well, come and get me. I'm
Sell
54 years old. I'm 200 pounds. Right? It will take me 10 years before I get my bus pass. So nobody stunts my growth towards getting my free bus pass. What the fuck is that all about, Liverpool? What the fuck is that all about? Every time you wake up, there's something. Every time you wake up, there's something stupid. And then some journalists will write something. Oh, Endo is the real deal. Why? Are we stupid? When the manager has told us that he had to convince the owners to accept to go beyond his remit to buy a player and buy Endo, and then you tell us Endo is the real deal? Why can't you be honest for once in your life and say he's an afterthought? Endo fucking knows he's an afterthought. The manager has said he's an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
So why do you write?
The crazy thing about it is,
why do you write and tell us he's the real deal? He's always been looked at. Looked out for how long? Before he was 35?
Who buy? Nobody wanted him. Like he was playing like in the relegation fight for the last 3 years for Stuttgart. Nobody wanted him. Like he's not been scouted by anybody.
Yes, he's the captain of Stuttgart. He's the captain of Japan. Well, I'm the captain of my
just got relegated
team in my geriatric league. Have you bought me?
Stuttgart just got relegated. Like I'm pretty sure they signed the wrong guy. Like there's a Greek international that was stood next to him that's gone to West Ham as well, by the way, for the same price. Like he used to play for Arsenal.
Mavropoulos or whatever.
I'd rather have had him. I never heard of him either.
Yo.
The crazy thing about it. Go on.
At this rate, those of us who were saying that we should have signed Tielemans, we should have signed Evan Ndika, we should have signed fucking Ward-Prowse, because Ward-Prowse, Ndika, and Tielemans would have cost us 35 million, right? The three of them would have cost us 35 million because two of them were free.
Yeah.
Right? We faffed around on Alan Varela. Alan Varela is now a Porto player. We are faffing around on Andre Trinidad before we realize Chelsea will have him or Man City will have him. And we'll be sitting there with egg on our faces, pancake fucking flour on our faces, right? And we'll be told, oh, Klopp wants the right player. Who the fuck is the right player? Who the fuck is the right player unless you put him in a fucking team?
The thing which gets me is it's the amount of players that we could have had that Klopp didn't fancy. I didn't fancy him.
71 midfielders. 71
didn't fancy him.
Midfielders we've been associated with since 2 years ago. 71 fucking midfielders. None of them are the right players. So it means one thing. The people. 71 fucking players. Now you've landed on Matt's fucking FIFA. Seriously? Endo and Wifa in our midfield? Endo and fucking Wifa? Who's playing the flute and who's playing the guitar? What the fuck is wrong with these people, man?
The crazy thing about it, well, what I will say, and Chris, jump in if you want, mate, by the way, is we're now linked, our star players now linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, yeah? And Man City now sign a right winger that could have done that job that we were linked with years ago, and he turned us down because Mane told him not to come to us in Doku. But the thing about it is, I'm so jealous of Man City because they just do things right. It's like, oh, okay, De Bruyne is injured. We need to get a replacement. Even if it's for 6 months, we need to get a replacement. So they just go and sign Doku. Like, bang. Like next couple of days. They literally, maybe a week later, they've signed Doku now. So they've now got another player that can kind of come in and do Kevin De Bruyne's job. And he probably knows it quite well because he plays for Belgium.
They're about to sign Doku.
They've done it.
And he actually has Ghanaian parents. They are going to sign Doku. They are going to sign Nunes, right? Who, if you recall, Nunes was being brought to Liverpool and Klopp didn't want him. So they took him to Wolves for an incubation period. So we get him in the next year. Remember that? So Nunes was supposed to be a Liverpool player in 1 year. That never fucking happened, right? And so now Pep is going to take him. Pep is going to mold him. He comes to Liverpool. He comes to fucking cook us over there, right? Or we go to Etihad and he takes issue with us and cooks us. We are not ready. We are not serious.
And so does Doku, by the way.
Sorry?
So does Doku as well. Doku will cook us as well because
Doku
he want to prove a point.
Linked with us. Yeah, he was also linked with us. And so we end up doing getting Endo and Weaver, fucking Endo and Weaver. What a fucking
Nuts.
joke! And this,
And we loan everyone else out by the looks of it. So do you think Salah will go?
yeah.
Do you think he'll go?
Hey,
And do you think
£350,000
and do you
a
think
day.
he'll go? And do you think he'll go because we have been such a disappointment, like in pre-season
Yeah,
and
I
this
was just
transfer
about to say
window?
that £350,000 a day is money that is very hard to resist, especially if he thinks you have no ambition, right?
That's
Dude
the
is
point.
31 going on 32, right? He's
Yeah.
towards the twilight of his career. That kind of money sets his all the 9,000, 10,000 people he looks after in Egypt, sets them all up and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. If I were him, I'll find it very hard to resist. Because somebody, he's a club legend, he loves the club. What happened to all the loyalty that the manager showed to Henderson? As soon as a player is shown the bag, he starts thinking differently. What happened to Lavia? Lavia wanted to play for Klopp. He wants to play for Liverpool. What happened as soon as they showed him the 8-year contract and the bag? It's always about the money. Look in the right direction, people. It's always about the cash.
Always about the cash.
Liverpool.
Always.
What a fucking disappointment. Fucking Weaver.
So what do you think then? Do you think top 5 is probably our main goal now, just to see if we can get into the top 5?
Let me just say this. Everybody has made augmentations to their team because people are now realizing that there's a lot of money in this thing. And many people will look. Aston Villa have been very, very ambitious. They've gotten a player who we should have gotten. They paid £50 million for Musa Diaby. They had, if you want to talk about replacement for Salah, Musa Diaby is one of them.
He was it. Yeah.
Right? Look at Newcastle. Newcastle have just entered the fray, right? Newcastle have now basically barged into the room of big boys. They have some fantastic players who on any day can make some people look very, very ordinary. Yeah, they lost 1-0 to Man City at the Etihad, but if we had played them, we would have lost 4-1. So big deal. Okay?
Yeah.
Sunday's match is going to be epic. It's going to be difficult. They have Tonali. They have Bruno Guimaraes, who, in my view, that's just my personal view, is the second best defensive midfielder in the league. Of course, Bruno Guimaraes was given to us. We didn't want him. So
they've got the best defender in the league, by the way, Sven Botman.
They have Botman.
Yeah,
Fabian Schär is no slouch. They have Trippier, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget that their defense was the stingiest defense in the league last season. So there are no slouches. Yeah, we beat them home and away, but hey, that's just the statistic. So if we go in there, we should understand that it's going to be difficult. Of course, we have 5 forwards who can sit any defense down at any time. So it's gonna be difficult. We're not gonna go in, breeze out. No, that ain't gonna happen. So my thing is, I think that Newcastle probably have an advantage, but Liverpool is still Liverpool. We can go there and we can go and win. I want us to win. I desperately want us to win, whether we are playing with Endo and Weaver, or only Endo, or none of the above. Option D. I don't give a crap. They should go there and go and win. That's it. Go and win. Thankfully, we managed to get that idiotic red card cleared off the books, so our kid can go there and go and play. So hey, let's look on the bright side. I think we can do it. Let's go out there, let's go and do it. But If we lose, all hell fucking break loose on Sunday. I tell you, the meltdown will be epic. The
Do we play
meltdown.
Nunes?
I will start him.
Do
Yeah.
we play Nunes again? He had a good game against Newcastle
I will
last
play
year.
him. I will play him.
Oh,
And I'll tell you why I'll play him. I'll play him because Nunes keeps defenders honest. They know he's fast. They know he can play in between the lines. They know he gets behind defenders. So the likes of Kieran Trippier stay honest. I wouldn't start Jota. I wouldn't start Jota. But knowing
no.
Klopp starts Jota. I can tell you the right lineup
And
right now.
Gapco in the 8. And Gapco in the 8.
I tell you the lineup right now. Klopp starts Jota. Tell you that right now.
Did you hear that, Chris? Did you hear that?
You be
Oh,
surprised. Maybe Endo won't even play. You never know. Klopp may end up playing the same lineup. Sorry? Maybe he will end up playing the same lineup he played against what's the last against Mark. Remember Curtis? Can you hear me?
Not really, no. You're dropping in and out.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Dropping in and out.
We can hear you,
Okay,
but you keep glitching up.
Okay, let me come in again.
Come again. What do you think then, Chris? Do you think it'll be the same lineup, mate?
Oh, we're talking about Newcastle? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was dealing with the maintenance man. Okay, so I think we start Endo. We have to. I don't like Gappo at the 8, in my opinion. I don't see how that works.
He's not strong enough, which is weird because he's like 6'4". He's like really weak.
He's a very elegant player, like very elegant, very bougie, very
bougie. That's a word, isn't it?
Yeah, very elegant, very bougie, very.
He hasn't got the pace. Player. He hasn't got the pace to get away as well when he gets the ball.
You know what I find pretty weird? He doesn't have. Burst. He has like, I think I could beat him in 10 yards, but like 50 yards he'll beat me type thing.
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean.
He's a slow start.
Yeah.
So
doesn't help in midfield. That.
I think I agree with Uncle. I think Nunes should start.
He should.
I think it's just how direct he is, how he's able to go to the passing lanes, and how he comes at you would kind of like keep Newcastle's defense very disciplined. But then again, Newcastle's defense is disciplined. Like they're a very well organized team.
The Eddie Howe team, innit?
Yeah, it's a very Eddie Howe team. It's very.
All right, man.
All right.
All done.
All done.
Remember, just rinse it before you put it in.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
All right. But yeah, I'm kind of worried of. I know Tonali's been very good for them.
Yeah.
He's a player I would have wanted. That we should have.
Yeah.
We should have invested in
I
stuff.
Agree. Okay.
So
right,
I was saying that you see, you need to keep the Newcastle defenders honest. Okay. So there's the space in between the defenders and the midfielders need to be exploited. Mm-hmm. With Gakpo and Zoboslai and Alexis operating that space. That keeps them honest. You cut off their supply and the game is essentially over. That's if you're going to be able to do that. So having somebody like Nunes up front is going to be key because you need to keep their defenders honest. Nunes keeps everybody honest. That's what he gives you. So let's just see what happens. But it's not going to be easy.
Do you worry though that maybe this game might be a little bit like the game where he got sent off, where he's maybe a little bit too keen, maybe trying to prove a point too much?
Well, I'm not paid £15 million to tell him not to do that. So the person who's paid all that money to tell the players what to do and what not to do needs to tell him that. He has nothing to prove. He should just go and be himself.
And would you still play the 4-3-3? Like, would you play the 4-3-3 not inverted, the actual flat back four?
Are you asking me a question based on what you think I want to do or what Klopp wants to do? Which one?
I mean, let's be honest. Like, you know, he binned off the inverted after 30 minutes against Brentford. Bournemouth, because we could have literally been 2 goals down and the goalkeeper off, and we got back into the game because of that. He's got to get rid of it. He's got to get rid of it against Newcastle, hasn't he? Or we'll just be wide open.
Klopp
we're talking about the
has not
inverted
been able.
Yeah.
Klopp has not been able to tell Trent that Trent, you are either a fullback or you are sitting on the bench, or put Trent on the right side of a 3 and get a fullback. He's unable to do that.
Yeah.
That's why Trent keeps giving away the balls in the middle, in front of the central defenders. That's why that keeps happening. So listen, Kema, we actually need to tell some home truths to ourselves. Okay, sometimes telling home truths to yourself is not easy, but it needs to be told. So we have to make a decision. Are we telling Trent, we will play you as an alternate DM, or we'll play in the middle of the park when we have a team that is going to put up a low block? So against most of the teams that will come to Anfield and come and throw up a low block, you can do that. You can do that inverted shit, right? But you can't go to fucking Tyneside and go and fucking play go and play that shit. You can't do it. Because if they go up, listen, if you are the coach of Liverpool, you guys just tell me. Sorry, if you are the coach of Newcastle, if you are Eddie Howe, and you have Almiron, and you have Isaac, and you know Liverpool are going to come and play that shit, what will you tell your players? Tell me what you tell them.
Attack the right-hand side.
Yeah, just go down the wings.
Yeah.
Go down the wings.
Are you not going to tell Joe Linton and Tonali to attack Trent and force a mistake out of him?
Well, that's what happened with Chelsea, didn't they? They doubled up with the Sterling and Reece James, and also
because
Chilwell.
they knew what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So listen, me, I'm not a coach. I know next to nothing about coaching, but I also happen to be an engineer, and I don't think coaching is any more difficult than going to an engineering school for 4 years. Okay, it can be much more difficult. I've watched this game my whole life, and I'm saying just don't play that invert shit, because it is shit against a team that wants to attack you. It is shit, and sooner or later, give it 10 minutes, they'll get you. And you go behind against Newcastle, there's no coming back.
That I agree 100%.
That's true.
They're so. It's crazy, right? Like, I never would have thought they would be this good, but they are. You have to give them props, man. Their transition between attack and defense, how compact they are. Like, they're a very good team. Even like in regards to like their recruiting, they're recruiting the right players. They're not overspending. Like, Newcastle, props to you guys, because but I don't know. Like,
well, you had Bruno Guimaraes and you passed.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This is where I'm confused about, guys, because we're being offered
didn't fancy
players.
him. Sorry.
We're being offered players left to right. Apparently, we were offered Enzo. Apparently, we're offered all these players, but we're rejecting them. And I don't. But who's rejecting these players? Because if people follow their roles, right? If Klopp's role is to be a manager, and then the sporting director job is to bring in players, then who's the one rejecting these players?
He is. He's the one.
It has to be the manager. It has to be the manager.
So why are we here? Because this is the thing that confuses me, because I was one of these people, right? FSG. Everything was FSG's fault. I was one of these people last season, because it was so bad last season that I wanted to grip on something to blame. But then when you really sit down and analyze the situation, it's like, well, come on, there's no way you turn down Enzo for 15 million. Even as a project, that's like, I'm sorry, in today's age, 15 million is nothing.
the thing that gets me, and I totally agree with you, by the way, is Klopp plays a way which he does the opposite to transfers. So when we play, it's high risk, high reward. There's never any high risk in any transfers. Like spending 15 million on a player, okay, yeah, he might be a flop, but it's 15 million. Like, sell him on for like 15.
But he just spent 16
no-
million. He just spent 16 million on
weird.
Simon and Garfunkel.
It's just weird. I can't. I genuinely can't get my head around it. Like FSG have made a lot of mistakes. Okay, like the biggest one for me is they didn't put the stands on their bill. Like, they didn't pay for the stands themselves. Like, and that's 200 million that could have gone into maybe 6 players over the space of a couple of years. That could have been a huge difference. But then it's a case of, well, would he have bought 6 players? We don't even know that now.
I don't know about the financial side, and maybe Uncle Albert or you can explain it to me. But like, I don't. It's normal for clubs to kind of like not put their own money for a rebuild, right? Is that not a thing, or is that normal?
No, but they were so for FFP, but FFP doesn't count that. Like owners can pay for their own stands. Like, that doesn't come off the FFP side of things.
Okay.
So they were kind of going against their own rules, basically. That's what I'm trying to get across.
I keep explaining.
But then I also want to say as well, like if we sold Salah, the money's not going to get spent. Like, he wouldn't buy anyone anyway. Like, he's just not. He hasn't bought anyone with the money that you've got. Caicedo,
yeah.
I keep explaining this. Our owners see Liverpool as a real estate venture. A real estate venture is when you buy land, you sit on it, time and proximity increases the value of the land.
He's right. But that comment right there is so true.
You put some buildings on it, you've increased the value of the land, the substrate exponentially, you sell, you make a monstrous profit. I'll give you a case in point. Why do you think they went back to rebuy Melwood? And they claim, it's that retooling it to be the women's. The day they sell it, they add it to the value of Liverpool, and they bump up the value.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's smart.
Liverpool,
the
owners of Liverpool are not one bit asked about how well we do, whether Champions League or in the league, as long as we qualify for Champions League, because that puts 60 million euros in their coffers. That's it. So for those people who want Salah sold, don't delude yourself. We have 6 days left in the window. If Salah goes today, that 100 million or whatever they get for him will not be used to buy another player. What they will tell you is that we'll use it to buy another player in January. By January, you would have forgotten. They will go and get us another Simon and Garfunkel to come and sing like a bridge over troubled water for us. And then we'll all be happy ever after. But so don't wish for that. If I had my way, Salah stays at Liverpool and retires honorably, and we give him keys to Liverpool and ask him to build the rest of his family there. I know that won't happen. But you can't fucking sell Salah now. You can't fucking sell him now when we're looking to challenge for the title. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Don't fucking sell him. Sell Adrian.
I don't think there's ever a plan
Sell
to
Elliot.
challenge for the title. I don't think there's ever a plan. Like, I think this year was basically top 5.
What the fuck
Don't even
is
sell
wrong
him.
with you?
Just release him. And the thing about it, I actually want to talk about this. You brought me onto a segue there, actually. When Klopp gave Adrian or whatever you say his name, a new contract, and he's integrated him back into the squad because he's taken up a homegrown, and he turned around and said that Caoimhin Gallagher is not for sale. Is he doing that because he thinks maybe Saudi Arabia might come for Ali, and he wants to give himself a backup? Because
But the
Oh,
thing
Loads
is
of
that,
clubs, loads of
Kmart,
clubs wanted
don't
Kelleher.
don't do that. Don't
but
do
it,
that.
I'm just saying.
But Ali
Don't-
just signed an
don't-
extension
don't-
though. He's not leaving anytime soon, so you
Don't
don't
do
gotta
that.
you don't gotta sell him.
Don't do that. If Liverpool sell Salah, sell Allison, that's the day I give up all my merchandise. That's it. That's enough.
His best mate has just gone to Saudi Arabia. Do you
Yo,
really think he's not on the phone
I
to him?
don't care if his mama went to Saudi Arabia.
You really think he's not on the phone to him saying, "My first game, I got a Rolex watch off a
I'm-
fan. Like, you need to get
I am
your
in
ass over
denial.
here."
I'm in denial. I'm telling you that right now. I said if they sell, listen, if you sell Allison, that's like 20 more goals a season. You know that, right? That we concede. You know that, right?
You don't think Keller can do a good job?
They are not in the same league.
They're not.
There
I
is
know- I know-
no
I know they're
fucking
not.
goalkeeper. Listen to this. Bookmark this. Patent this. There is no fucking goalkeeper on this planet who comes within 10 fucking kilometers of Allison. None. Zero. Not Ederson, not fucking Steve Magnan. No. You can get 3 goalkeepers. 3. Bring 3 goalkeepers and put them in the poll at the same time. They are equal to Allison.
Can I just say something? Can I just say
Did
something?
you see what he did against Chelsea in the last minutes of the game? Do you remember that Mudryk chance?
Bournemouth? Like, he saved 2 goals in the last 10 minutes against Bournemouth.
No. Forget Bournemouth. Bournemouth couldn't have beaten us anyway. Forget Bournemouth. Go back to Chelsea. Do you remember that Mudryk chance?
Yeah.
The chance that Mudryk got. You see what he did? He just shepherded Mudryk to a place to an angle where he couldn't put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
That comes from here.
And the one from Jackson as well. That was
Thank
point
you.
blank. Point
Thank
blank
you.
in the corner. Like, yeah.
I said Liverpool sell Allison. That's it. I'm matching with my truckload of merchandise and I'm going to leave it at their doorstep. I would have had enough.
That chat is incredible. Like I you know what? I would spend 100 million on just getting Michael Edwards back, because he is that important to the club, because we have gone downhill hugely since he left.
But
the biggest mistake we ever made was FSG being on Klopp's side about that, because FSG still have a great relationship with Michael Edwards. It's just Klopp doesn't. If you don't know that, then that's the reason why.
Yeah, well, that's why he still doesn't have a job. I suspect that somewhere along the line they'll bring him back.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think they'll bring him back, and the sooner the better, because you can't have a sporting director who is basically a yes man who helps you to go and get players that the club doesn't need. Can't have that.
That's an interesting point there.
You see
Rami
what is
hasn't said
happening
anything
at West
about
Ham.
Salah in the past few hours. Rami
Sorry?
came out straight away a couple of weeks ago and said Salah signed a new contract. He's not leaving Liverpool. Rami's not said anything in the last couple of hours about all of this stuff. I'm telling you.
He may have taken the back. You see, the one thing about the Salah matter that troubles me is this. You know that Saudi Arabia want to co-host the World Cup with Egypt.
Yeah, you
2030.
said this. Yeah, you said this.
And the bid they are going to put together has Mo Salah as the face of that bid. And I'll tell you why. Morocco are going to bid with Portugal and Spain. If Egypt bid with Saudi Arabia, all the African countries are going to support Egypt. One, African countries don't like Morocco very much because the Moroccans tried to get into the EU. Okay? Morocco tried to say they are not Africans. They wanted to join the EU. And African countries have never forgiven them.
Morocco are trying to build a tunnel from Morocco all the way to Spain. Do you know that? You should Google it on YouTube. No. There's an incredible video about it.
They've always wanted to be part of Europe. I don't know how many times
Boris Johnson was involved in that.
I don't know how many times they've asked for EU membership. Egypt, on the other hand, has helped a lot of African countries, education-wise, all in all kinds of ways. They've helped African countries. CAF's headquarters is in Cairo. So it's a no-brainer. If Egypt bid with Saudi Arabia has Asian countries and they have African countries, and the bid is finished. It's done, underwritten, finished, over. So there's a lot of intrigues that is going into this thing. Let's also not forget that Mo Salah is the most popular Arab. I'm not even talking about sports man. I said he's the most popular Arab, period. This guy, there was a presidential election in Egypt. He didn't contest. He didn't even say he wasn't in the country. He was playing his football. He got 3 million votes. Writing votes, 3 million.
Imagine that. Salah wasn't even in the contest, and he ended up coming out as the president.
He wasn't even in the country.
He just got announced.
He got 3 million votes.
Mo, you're now the president of Egypt. What? I
He
wasn't in the election.
He got 3 million writing votes. That's how much his people absolutely love him. So, and his humility and everything. I mean, look at what he does. Just the other day, I don't know whether you watched you watched the inside training thing. Mo Salah.
Endo. You mean with Endo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You
The
didn't see Virgil van Dijk doing that.
The team captain didn't go and say hello. Wasn't the team captain? It was Mo Salah who went and said hello.
That's really funny, that, because I was on a show before and someone brought that up like it was a negative. I was like, "Are you having a laugh?" I was like, Mo is really the captain. And I also said as well that Mo not getting the captaincy might also be a reason why he's looking around, why he's sat thinking,
or even
am I even why am I here now?
Getting the assistant captaincy, even the assistant captaincy. But you see, what he did to go and welcome Endo is not taught. It's innate. You are born with it. It's innate. Yeah. They don't teach that. Whatever it is, we shouldn't.
That's a good comment. Have you seen that? Presidents, I was just getting used to the Egyptian king.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, oh, do you know you got 3 million votes in the presidential election? Oh, I didn't contest. Well, yeah. So imagine if he decides to contest. You know.
Okay then. So we've covered that. How much would you sell him for? Because we had this conversation before, me and Chris, and if Neymar's going for 85 million, Mo's not going for much more, if you ask me.
Mo Salah, if sold, would be around 100 million pounds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone's talking like 150, 130. I think that's a bit ridiculous.
Why would the Saudis? You see, everybody thinks that the Saudis have a bag of money, a swimming pool full of money that they are throwing at people. It's not true, you know. Those guys are some of the most educated people in this world. They have been to the Cambridges, the Princetons. They have an active policy of educating people to the highest level. I mean, you have been a soldier before. You know where their soldiers train. Sandhurst, Camberley, that's where their soldiers train. You know, they are very, very sharp people. When they throw money at something, they know why they throw it. They don't just throw the money at people for nothing.
They're making money off it. Like, have you seen some of the grounds? Like, they've got fans. Like, exactly. This isn't like the old school bloody American league when they threw money at it and signed a load of old players and then no one turned up. Like, they've got full stadiums and they're decent stadiums as well.
Even
and the players they're signing, like, I don't think the money's ridiculous.
Even
like
Chelsea came out. How long will it take them? How long does it take Al Ittihad to sell enough shirts to pay for Mo Salah if they buy him? He is the most popular Arab. End of story. A week,
and he's paid for.
He is the most popular Arab. Finish. End of story. And that's just it. Okay.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is to make sure that there's no discussion about selling him. So I'm very reluctant to even put a price on Salah. You know, What Salah does is Mo Salah lines up against you. Your defenders are terrified. Why would you want to lose that? Why you want to lose that?
I know.
And come and tell us that Ben Doak is the next Salah, so we put Ben Doak. Are you fucking nuts?
I know.
Are you
done
fucking
nothing.
serious?
He's literally done nothing. Like, he's literally done nothing.
Ben
No
fucking Doak.
assists, no goals. Played less than 5 games.
Where's the end product? What does he do when he gets to the byline? That boy
Most of the time he miskicks it and falls over. Like, no offense. He's
that
just a
boy
kid.
needs at least 2 years. He needs
just a
2 years
kid.
of going on loan.
He's just a kid. Like, for
You're
me,
serious.
the only way it works is if we change the formation and we put more strikers, like, as in dedicated strikers up front. You know, this right wing thing isn't going to work unless you have a real product, like someone who's just brilliant at crossing and brilliant at putting balls in for Nunes. And guess what? He's already there. Trent
Man.
Alexander-Arnold is already there. Play him in Salah's position.
I
Like-
am not even contemplating selling Salah, bro. I don't want to live. I don't want to wake up in the morning to know that Mohamed Salah is not playing for us. But are you serious? Salah. You know who benefits the most? You know who benefits the most when we sell him? You know who benefits the most? Manchester United supporters.
Hell
They're
yeah.
fucking having nightmares. Can you imagine?
Hell yeah.
Do you know how they are whooping and hollering over their spaces that Salah is leaving? Every time they see Salah, they shit themselves. Like, seriously?
Absolutely. Most teams.
Can you imagine how Martinez
Especially Arsenal.
feels if he's going to face Salah again?
Yeah. Hello, Glasgow, mate. You all right, John?
I'm not too bad, Kim. Thank you very much for having me on. Pleasure, mate. I just want to bring up a couple of points.
Go on, mate, go on.
About, obviously, mate, you know I'm FSG, as you can see. I know you're FSG. So it's no disrespect to you personally, but we've seen FSG table a bid of 111 million for Caicedo. We've seen that bid go in. Right. In my opinion, that is a fake bid. That bid never existed. They were never going to prove it. It's a fake bid. I tell you why it's a fake bid. Have you seen FSG or Liverpool table a bid for anybody else in the range of 60, 80, 90, 100 million? No. Who did they table bid for? They table bid for 16 million pound, 30-year-old CDM. Come on. Is this we're meant to be in a rebuild, and we saying a 30-year-old? How is that that's not a rebuild. That to me, it's a step backwards. You get rid of Fab, who's 29. They're saying a 30-year-old to replace him. It makes no sense. Now, I'm not saying the guy's a bad player. I don't know the guy. Haven't seen much of him play. He could be an absolute baller. But to me, that is not a rebuild. It's not a rebuild. To me, that is a fake bid. In other words, you put who's our sporting director?
George Smack.
Schmuck.
George Smack. Right, George Smack.
With
is
a
our
name
sporting
like
director.
Schmuck, with a name like Schmuck,
Right.
what do you expect?
Who
Schmucked.
took the reins? Who took the reins at the Caicedo deal?
It was
Who
Billy
took the
Hogan.
reins?
It was
Right, Billy Hogan. Why are FSG allowing a marketing guy, no experience of transfer negotiations whatsoever, in charge of one of the biggest deals that we could probably ever pull off? Why? Because they knew the deal would never happen. I'm
I
sorry.
kind of,
I
I
see
kind of
people
felt
saying that's not good business sense.
but I kind of felt that was a little bit like, what Chelsea are doing. Like Todd Bowley's like buying all their players.
But if
It's
you
like,
hire an
the
expert,
manager, like,
you hire a guy who is a qualified sporting director. His job is transfer negotiations. That's his job. That's his speciality. Why would you take him off
because he hasn't
one of
signed
the
anyone.
biggest fees? But
Because he's
you hired him.
no,
FSG
but
hired him.
and I know they hired him. Well, it's probably Klopp that really
Un-
wanted
under
him.
Klopp's,
But he
Well,
could
why
have been.
Klopp can't hire anybody? Klopp can't
don't
hire
know
anybody.
behind the
Klopp doesn't
scenes.
play the weakness.
But we don't know behind the scenes how bad he could have been. Like
Well,
we could have gone for about
Klopp's-
5 players and we never got
Klopp's
any.
agent.
Well, why
Klopp's
not go
Klopp's
after
agent-
a
We're
proper
taking this
sporting
on
director?
ourselves.
Klopp's
Why not go after a
agent
proper
brought
sporting
Schmadtke.
director?
John,
George
Klopp's
Schmadtke, to
agent-
me,
Klopp's agent brought Schmadtke. So whilst you make the point that Klopp cannot hire him, he can have a lot of influence on whether he's hired or
yes,
whether
I fully agree. But what I will say is, Jurgen Klopp does not have that power at the club. Now, Jurgen Klopp got rebutted. Now, Kim, like you say, Jurgen Klopp walks about all high mighty. I don't spend big money. I don't spend big money. Now, Jurgen Klopp will get rebutted about that £111 million bid. Jurgen Klopp says, I was wrong. Admit it, I was wrong. Things change. We have to go that way now. So you can't turn around and say in one hand, Jurgen Klopp is all high and mighty about not spending big. But when he is prepared to spend big, turn and say, just sit there and ignore it. That's wrong. Last season, you turn around, well, not you personally, but FSG and guys turn around and says, Jurgen Klopp come out and says, I don't need midfielders. Right? But this summer, Jurgen Klopp clearly, time and time again, came out and says, I need signings. Where are the signings? Look at the players we got rid of and look at the players we brought in. How many players did we let go? How many?
I think it's 9 now.
Yeah,
Nine.
nine,
How
nine,
many we brought in? How many have we brought
Right.
in?
2.5.
No, we brought in 2. We have brought in 2. We brought in 2 and we brought in a half.
Yeah.
2.5 players. Endo, no disrespect to him. Because it's not his fault. Don't want to disrespect him. Because this is a lifetime opportunity for him. And fair play, the guy, he jumped at it. Who wouldn't? I would.
Yeah, but he's an afterthought. Nobody needs to tell you he's an afterthought. And if Liverpool are at the point when they are signing afterthoughts, then we have a real problem.
Yeah, the real problem is FSG need to sell us football club. For as long as, in my opinion, for as long as we have FSG at this club, we will never ever achieve our full potential because they're not ambitious enough. They're not willing to spend big money. Look at the players we let go. Look at the players we brought in. Just look at the players Man City let go, and then go look at the players they brought in. They're ambitious. We're not.
They haven't even
We think we're a big club. We think we're a big club, but we don't act like a big club.
So, John, here's my thing. Let's just look at the other side of it.
Yes.
Like I said in an earlier space. So
Yeah.
no, not a space, an earlier program. So we need to get to Edinburgh. Somebody has a Ferrari and he's going to drive to Edinburgh faster than he can fly.
Mhm.
We have the Honda Civic. We can still drive to Edinburgh. The problem
Right.
is if we stop. The problem is if we stop at Birmingham and decides to walk to Edinburgh without shoes. So why the fuck
Yes.
did we let players like Alan Varela go to Porto when he was available for £15 million? Why the fuck are we faffing around over Andre Trinidad? And we'll find
Right.
out that sooner or later, somebody else will get Andre Trinidad when we can get him.
Albert, Albert, I'll ask you one question, Albert. Now we were haggling for weeks on end over Lafayette with Southampton for what? About over what? £3 million?
Over
3
4 million.
million.
Yeah,
We
it
were
was 4
haggling.
million.
Yeah, Klopp
4
and
million.
George didn't want.
But we were
Klopp and
we
George
were
didn't
haggling
think that he
over
was worth
4
5
million.
million more. That's
Right, but you
been
went.
released. That's
But
came
hold
out.
on.
That's
But
got nothing
you
to do
went.
with FSG, John.
I'm not
John,
saying.
that's
I'm
got
not
nothing
saying
to
it
do with
has.
FSG.
I'm not saying it has. But you went a few days later and go right. Bang! We'll give you 60 million. You could have had him for 50 weeks ago. Weeks ago. That is stupid business.
Yeah, that's not FSG. That's
Isn't that?
that's George Smacked and Klopp.
That's George McClap.
It
Who
is.
hired George? Who hired George?
He's our
Who
director
hired
of
him?
football.
Who hired him?
Klopp did. Klopp hired
Clap
him.
did.
There's
Clap
no
can't
way.
sign. Clap.
There's no
Clap
John. There's no way
cannot.
on earth, John.
Clap
John.
does not make signings. He does
John.
not make hirings at this football club.
John, let me talk for a sec, mate. Okay, please.
Right, go ahead.
Okay. There is no way on earth FSG signed George Smacked as director of football. There's no way on earth.
But
They've got recommendations from Klopp, who he wants to work with, because Klopp has got so much more control of the club, and you know he has.
right. So if he has all this control,
I understand you love Klopp, okay? I understand you think he's amazing, okay? And that's fair. There's a lot of people that do, okay? And he's done brilliant stuff. But he's got way too much control, and he has for a number of years now. He was the one.
If he has all this control,
he was the one that picked George Smacks. 100%.
Right. If he has all this control, then what you're saying he does, then why was George Smack only handed a 3-month contract? And why was that 3-month contract tied in to the exact
it's a
date
way
the
of getting
stadium
him in
should
the
have
door.
been finished? Now
John,
the
it's a
stadium's
way.
fucked
It
up.
was a way of getting him in the
FSG
door.
fucked the stadium up. They fucked the stadium up. They didn't do the due diligence properly. They fucked the stadium. They fucked the sporting director up. They fucked this whole transfer window up. They fucked last transfer window up. FSG need to go now.
I want them to.
Little
as
people
well,
will wake up and realize this.
It's a very intricate way of getting him in the door. Don't you
John,
think?
I want FSG to go as well. Okay, John. I think they've been absolutely terrible. Okay, I think they've given our manager way too much power, and they've made so many bad mistakes now. And
but I don't think
the only way we're going to move on, and the only way we're going to get a better rebuild, is by the pair of them fucking off. Okay.
Right. So say toxic tomorrow. Say toxic tomorrow. FSG sell this football club to Qataris or whoever, and they come in and hand Jurgen Klopp 400 million. Right? And he say he fucks that up. If he fucks that up, I'll say yes, Jurgen Klopp, you need to get the fuck out of here. I'll say that. But until that happens, I don't think Jurgen Klopp's been backed enough. Look at our net spend. We're 10th in the league. We're Liverpool Football Club. We have our net spend. We're 10th in the league. 10th. Liverpool Football Club. Come on.
I can't disagree with the they haven't given him enough money, but
well, so he's not been backed.
But we're now at a stage where we're now finding out that there's so many players that he just didn't want. He didn't fancy them.
But Kim, look at this.
So the thing about it, John, is he's probably being given a lot of money to buy lots of players, but he just doesn't want the players.
Right,
so
but
he ends up not spending any.
This one.
That's what it feels like.
Right. But look at this one. Look at this play. He sold our best player, or FSG sold our best player. Whoever sold him, and continue at the time. At the time was our best player for 140 million.
Klopp didn't want
right,
him.
hold
Klopp
on.
didn't fancy
Hold on. Hold on.
Sorry.
Jurgen Klopp actually begged him to stay. Jurgen Klopp said to him, if you stay, we will build a statue of you. If you leave, you'll be a small fish in a big pond. That's what he said to him. Right? Now we sold him for 140 million. Look what Jurgen Klopp did with that money. He went out and he signed Ali. He signed Van Dijk. He turned the team into Champions League winners. He turned the team into Premier League winners. Look what Jurgen Klopp can do with money. Nobody
Michael
can
Edwards
argue
signed
with
them,
that.
mate. Sorry, Michael Edwards signed them, not Klopp. We know who Klopp wanted. Albert, do you want to tell John who
Klopp
wanted?
says, as long as I have the
John,
first say
Can I say
and the
something?
last say.
He wanted
John.
Kevin Trapp.
Can I say something, please? Because I'm not understanding where this is going. Because on one hand, we're saying Klopp is not in charge of transfers, but then now we're saying Klopp signed Van Dijk and Alisson and all this stuff. It's not making sense to me.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me when people FSG in people turn and say
John,
Jurgen Klopp said we want midfielders, but then the following season Jurgen Klopp comes out and goes,
John,
I want signings. But I don't see the same heat for FSG when Jurgen Klopp clearly said he wants signings. Where's the signings?
John,
Where
can
are
I
they?
get a word? Can I get a word in?
Sorry,
You
Albert.
see-
Apologize.
You see, oh no, don't worry. You see,
And
those of
Chris,
you-
I apologize, mate.
no, don't worry. It's a conversation. Those of you who love Klopp to the max need to understand that he has a lot of flaws, and most of the time, you don't want to talk about his flaws, right? Klopp rejected Julian Alvarez. He rejected Bruno Guimaraes. He rejected Enzo Fernando last year. Just last year. They were
And Caicedo,
and
2 years ago.
Caicedo.
2 years
He
ago.
rejected all of
Caicedo,
them
yeah.
because he wanted to renew Henderson and Milner. On the day Milner retired, and we all heard James Milner saying in front of the press that the manager wanted to keep him, and the club said no.
I wanted to keep him as well. I wanted to keep Milner as well. Milner,
Why
his
would you want to keep
experience,
Milner at 38?
because his experience in and around the young players, that is valuable experience that money cannot buy.
If the young players
Money
need
can't buy
granddad,
that.
if the young players need granddad, get them granddad. But you don't have to
But
pay,
I'm not
pay
saying
granddad.
play him.
You don't have
I'm
to
not
pay
saying play him.
granddad 140,000. Do you have to pay someone 140,000 pounds a week to grandfather the kids? Are you
But
saying?
do you,
Are
do
you
you not
saying?
respect James Milner? James Milner
Are
turns
you
and
saying
says,
that,
John?
John? Are you
John,
saying
can I ask
that
you a serious
between?
question, John? When did
Right,
you,
go ahead.
When did you want FSG out?
when
did
they
it
want
start?
FSG out?
When
I
did you
wanted
want them out?
FSG out when they tried to raise the ticket price.
Okay, everybody did that though. But when was that?
That was in 2016, I believe.
Okay, so that was before Klopp.
Yeah, that was
When
just before Klopp
when
came
we
in.
had Rodgers, you wanted
Yes.
FSG out.
Yes, I wanted FSG out.
Did you want FSG out because Rodgers was shit in the last two
No.
seasons?
No,
Because he got backed.
right? But Rodgers nearly won us the league, so no.
I know. Rodgers got back to the max. Every player Rodgers wanted, he got.
Did he?
And yeah, well,
Rodgers came out and said,
he signed
Rodgers came out
loads
and
of-
said,
he signed loads
but
of crap
Rodgers came out
players.
and
He
said in
wanted
the
to
press
play.
conference, he said in the press conference that nobody can deny, we will not sign Balotelli. We will not sign Balotelli. He said that out his own mouth. There's videotapes of that. Next minute, bang, Liverpool, Balotelli through the door. He was
the
forced.
director of football
That
then.
signing was forced
Who was the
upon him.
director of football then? It wasn't Michael Edwards. Who was the
You
guy
can't
before Edwards?
You can't blame
you wanted
Rodgers on that.
FSG out. So you wanted FSG out after Rodgers came second in the league. So we almost won the league and we didn't win the league, and then you wanted FSG out. That doesn't
No,
make
I
any
wanted
sense.
FSG out. The season we nearly won the league, I wanted FSG out.
Why? We nearly won the league.
Because
we
I
nearly won the
didn't.
league with them.
I
Why would
seen
you
the
want
way
them
they
out?
were moving. I seen the way they were moving. I didn't like it.
But the season later, Rodgers got over 100 million to spend.
Right,
And
what,
that's
hap- what, what
that was a
happened?
huge
Right,
amount of
what
money in
happened?
the league back then.
Right, right. Well, I know you agree on this. I know you support their decision on this. What happened? Say you're the European Super League, right? Let's talk about that one.
I wanted us to be in the European Super League, and I'm sure a lot of people
Why?
did, by the way. Like, why
Why?
would you not want to watch Liverpool play the best teams in the world? Like,
Would you
and there was
do you want to
FFP
watch?
rules getting
But
broken by
hold
every
on.
team in the league.
Is that the game you fell in love with? Is that the game you fell in love with?
Watching Liverpool play like Real Madrid's and Barcelona's, and yeah,
No, the game
Yeah,
you fell in
it's
love with was
amazing.
watching
Hey,
Liverpool.
guys, I
I'd
need
rather
to
Was
watch
jump
you
off
play
watching
and
those
Liverpool
teams
I
than
need
play
to
in the
jump
Luton
off and
Premier
jump
League.
back in.
and
Okay,
Brentford and
give me
shit
5
teams like
minutes.
that.
I'll jump back in.
But you fell in love with watching Liverpool play in the Premier League. Am I right? Am I wrong?
I only like about 5 or 6 games that we play in the Premier League. The rest
But
of them are quite
you
horrible
fell in love with
because
Liverpool
they
because
just
of
defend
English
and they
football.
block and they play low block.
Because of
and
English football. Now, bear in mind, if the European Super League had went ahead, right? One, there'll be no relegation. No relegation
what's wrong with
in
that?
the European Super League.
That means we stay in it all the time.
There's no
That's brilliant.
It's not competitive football. It's not competitive football. What that is,
It will be
what that mean
competitive
is,
because of the teams that are playing each other. They won't
that's
be able
not
to play
competitive
any other
football.
way.
No, there
Managers,
is no relegation. There is no threat of you going down. So why would you
that's
even
not the
care? You're
threat.
guaranteed your money.
It's the
Why
teams
even
playing
try? You're
each other.
guaranteed the money.
It's the best
Do you really
managers
think?
in the world. They want to
Right?
win.
Do you really believe FSG would care whether we finish bottom of that league or top of the league? No, because every season they're still getting the same amount of money. They wouldn't care.
But
And then we're talking about
your
wanting to play
argument doesn't make
games.
sense. Chris, can you
But you're
jump in on
talking
this
about
as well, mate?
you're talking about
Okay.
wanting to play
so
games in like say, America,
2 seconds.
play
John.
games in Dubai, play games in Spain. Do players these days not travel enough? Are we not thinking about players' welfare here? Fly them out to Dubai to play a game of
John, 2
football.
seconds.
Fly them out to
John, 2
America.
seconds. Let me get Chris in this as well. Okay,
What's
Chris.
up? What's up?
The whole European argument, yeah.
Okay.
I wanted the European League because I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Okay.
Okay.
But the whole argument is there's no relegation. Well, like we pretty much like that anyway because we're never going to get relegated. So it's like we've never ever feared relegation in how long? When was the last time Liverpool feared relegation?
But there's still a chance.
20,
There
30 years
is that
ago?
chance.
So I just
There
want
is
to get
that
to the
chance.
point on this.
Right.
How is your opinion about the Super League?
Okay, so to be honest, so the thing they fixed up the Super League's rules now, so there is going to be relegation now in the
Yeah,
Super
there is
League.
now. Yeah.
So, I don't understand. That's the thing. I'm American, right? So I don't view things as like as passionate as John as you guys. You know what I mean? So, but to be honest, like I don't really care. To be honest, like football is entertainment. It is.
It's entertainment.
It is. Like I wake up on my.
I don't deny that. Don't deny
playing,
that football
like
is
playing
entertainment.
playing the bottom 5 teams is not entertainment. It's dross.
But
It's
the point
horrible.
is,
like playing
but the
Real
point
Madrid
is,
and Barcelona and Bayern Munich is always
even better
going to be
if
exciting.
if the European Super League does go ahead. If it does go ahead,
It
if
will
they
go
do
ahead.
bring it back and it goes ahead, right?
It will
if it
happen
does-
eventually. They'll never stop.
If it does, there is now rules in place where the Premier League can and they will kick you out their league. They will. We get threatened of getting stripped of our league titles. In my opinion, that is walking over Bob Paisley's grave. That's walking over Bill Shankly's grave. That's a spit in the face of the 97 people who died at Hillsborough because they love the English game. They love English football.
But things move on with time. Things move on with time.
I was just about to
No,
say
you can't move on.
You're never going to
You
take
can't
away that history.
You can't replace
John,
history. You
John,
can't
look at my
replace
background.
history.
No.
John,
Look at your background. Look at your background. Look at your background. 19 league
history.
titles,
But that's
6
history,
European
John.
Cup.
That's
That
never
would be
gonna go away.
stripped away from us. That would be stripped away from us.
No, it won't. Why? We'll just go into the European Super League. They won't take away all our trophies. They're going to strip
They've
our
already
trophies. That bit.
said if you enter the European Super League,
No,
if you enter,
that rule would
you
change.
will not play in the Premier League.
Okay,
The
so
Champions League,
until you're out the Super
Champions League
League.
turn says, right, what's more important? What's more important? Them 6 European Cups or European Super League? What's more important?
What do you mean?
Let's
They're
face
not
it.
take away our cups.
But you can't play in a European Super League plus play in the Champions League. You can't. One or the other.
no,
Well, there wouldn't be a Champions League, would
there
there?
wouldn't be a Champions League. The Super League, the European Super League will replace.
If you believe the Champions League is going to disappear just like that, it is not happening.
Look,
The Champions League will not disappear just like
This
that.
is a pointless argument then, because none of it's happening and nothing's going to happen. Okay, so
so, I understand.
I got a new guest.
I understand I understand the passion, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not as passionate as certain people, but
And for me as well, it's like only 50,000 people can go to the stadium. Like the European Super League opens it up to millions. Like it opens it up to people in different countries.
that's one way of looking at it, and I think a lot of people that
Right? I support the Knicks. Right? I support the Knicks. I also support the Yankees. Right? Did I turn and tell the Yankees or the Knicks or whoever to come over to England and play their games here just so I can go see them? No, I supported them. It's known for a fact.
the
I'm
NFL
more likely never. I supported them. It's known for a fact. I will more likely never get to see them play live. That was my choice. So your argument going, take them to America, let Americans see them. Yes, that would be nice, but that's what pre-season friendlies are for. Not competitive games. Competitive games belong in England. They belong inside Anfield.
Okay, well, that's definitely an opinion for a local or for people near the ground. But I would say the Super
I'm not
League
even local.
would appeal
I'm not
to a
even
lot of people.
local.
Let's
I
not
live in
talk about this
Scotland.
conversation anymore, okay? Because there's no point. Frank, have you got anything to add, mate, or do you want to talk about something differently, mate?
No, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I'm also from the States, though. But the thing is, like, I've been following Liverpool since 1982, I think. I lived in England. I lived in Surrey for a while. I would say, like, when I was 17 or so. But I think
Good times then.
What was that? I'm sorry.
1982, good times.
Yeah, it's been a ride. But anyways, I mean, Klopp has as much to blame as FSG because even when they give him the spending power, he's too stubborn. If he does not get his priority target, he's not going to go for anybody. And he has to be held accountable. And a lot of people think like, who are we going to get if we don't get Klopp? Let's go get somebody of caliber, somebody that there's always people out there that are willing and have the winning mentality to actually get the players they need. Like, look at the Brighton manager, for example. Like, he didn't need
Oh my Jesus Christ! We're talking about replacing Klopp by Brighton manager. No chance.
No, he's using an example.
One season in the Premier League.
John, give him a second.
That's the example. That's an example.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, man. I mean,
carry on.
Sure. Okay. So what example do you want to use? What manager do you think, if Klopp is that great of a manager, is he Shankly? It's not Shankly. Is he? Who else are you going to put in his shoe? Klopp won what? One EPL? One. Not 10. One. So the reality of it is he's not untouchable. That's what I'm saying. FSG is not untouchable, just as Klopp is not untouchable. Nobody's as big as Liverpool Football Club as far as I'm concerned, and I'm an American.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And nobody is bigger than Liverpool Football Club.
That's facts.
To get content, to get good, entertaining games, not for us to lose games and be like, oh, we're gonna get Caicedo or we're gonna get somebody else. So, in my opinion, Klopp should be held accountable. If he's not putting up the result by October, November, and the team is slacking, he needs to go.
I totally agree. I totally agree in that stance. No one is bigger in the club. Now, if you talk about you were talking when I walked in here. I think you were talking about Mo Salah. Now, if Mo Salah wants to leave, if he does want to leave, then fucking leave. Mo Salah's not bigger than Liverpool Football Club. He's not. We've been here before in the past, and we replaced him just like we had did with all the other players. We replaced Torres. We replaced Suarez.
I didn't think we would replace Suarez, if I'm honest. I thought we
did. But we did.
But also,
we replaced Robbie Fowler. We replaced Michael Owen.
Yeah.
We replaced Rush. We replaced Douglas. We do it all the time. No one is bigger than the club. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't see a manager out there now today who is better than Jurgen Klopp.
There is.
Who working under this budget. Working under this budget.
Like
who?
Ancelotti is better than Klopp.
But that's
hands down.
But that's
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti is way better than Klopp. Like
Ancelotti relies on. I get what you're saying, but Ancelotti for me is like a Pep. He relies on money. If he doesn't have money, he's not very good. He proved that at Everton.
Klopp relies on money.
But that same
who did
logic.
he buy? He bought Van Dijk and he bought Alisson. Without those two players,
that was through a sale of a big player.
It doesn't matter how he got the money, but he spent the money. That's what I'm trying to prove.
Money.
He needs money.
But that's what I'm saying. He needs money.
I've stopped talking about
but he hasn't
selling players to buy players. It's still buying players.
Right.
It's still spending money.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how you obtain the money. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's almost $1 billion. Like, it's a fact. Like, it doesn't matter about who he sold. Loads of other teams sell loads of players as well. But we never talk about that. Like, Man City sold loads of players. Yeah, they've spent money. They still have sold loads of players. Like, he bought loads of players. And I totally agree with you, Frank. Like, his choice on players, there's no plan C or D. It's either A or B or nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's left us so short so many times.
Yep.
I totally disagree.
Because even for Núñez, like my biggest issue with Klopp right now is the fact that he's not giving that kid a chance. He's treating him worse than Origi. I don't know if you guys remember when Origi started. Like he sent Origi on loan like 2 or 3 times, and this kid was basically like sent all over the place. And eventually he starts scoring goals that matters for us. We're like, hey, you know what? Origi's actually pretty good. But Klopp treated this dude like he was the bottom of the barrel, like literally. Like that's what he's gonna do to this kid, like Núñez. And I know Núñez is missing a lot of chances, but in order for you to miss chances, you got to be given an opportunity to build some level of confidence. And people say he lacked composure. Yeah, but that has to do a lot with his confidence. Because if people say, hey, you suck all the time, guess what? You're going to end up not doing well regardless, no matter how hard you try. And the way
one of our best goal scorers was classed as a substitute. That's what it was. He came on, he scored goals. He didn't start games. He came on, scored goals, and that was it.
Yeah, but he had to get in between Salah, Mane, and Firmino. Like Núñez has got to get in between who? Like who? Like Gakpo, Jota, Diaz? Like really?
Yeah, so like, who's
Núñez is a better player than all of them. Like he really is, but he just needs to be played.
You better play Mo Salah.
Like, no, I didn't say Salah. I didn't say Salah.
Who did you say? Sorry, who did you say?
I said Jota, Gakpo, and Diaz. But like, we spent 85 million on the guy.
Don't be disrespecting Diaz, man. He's our top goal scorer, man. Get out of
here. I disagree. He's not better. He's not better than Jota. He's not better than Diaz.
But you also have to look at the man management of Núñez. Like we played him in pre-season, and he was on fire. And then we dropped him for the buying game, and then benched him for Chelsea. Like, but all right. Well, if you want to reduce a player's confidence, then yeah, do that.
But you know what, K-Mac? Like, you're absolutely right. Because the thing is, when I look at it, like if you look at Núñez himself, even when Jota was not playing well for Chelsea, like Jota had a horrible game. I was watching that, and I was like, Jota was just horrible all around. At no point, like even halftime, you would say, "Hey, let's put Núñez in and see what happens." He didn't do that.
But sorry, 2 seconds. Kim, Thank you very much for having me on. And mate, to all yous, it's all love. We all love Liverpool Football Club.
All good, John. All
We
good,
only
mate.
want the best for Liverpool Football Club.
We do, mate.
But
we do. That's what we want.
my battery's a little bit dry, so I'm going to have
All
to
right, mate.
bounce.
Take care, mate. Good
So
speaking to you.
it is all love.
Bye, mate.
Take care, guys.
Bye, mate. Bye. Yeah, sorry. Go on, Frank.
No, I was saying how he didn't let him in. Like, he didn't even play him properly. Like, if Jota's having a stinker of a game, like Nunes, the thing that I admire about this kid, the fact that I'm calling him a kid because, he's in his 20s. I'm way older than that. So it's like, when I look at this dude playing, he's trying 100%. He might not score, but he tries every time. Like, he comes in and gives everything on the field. I can only give respect to that. You know what I mean? If you're trying your best. Not Jota when Jota's like jogging slowly. It's like, you're not even pressing, dude. Like, you're not even trying. Come on, man. Like, you can do better than that. You get what I mean? Or no?
No, I agree. Thing about it as well is I just don't see Nunes as an impact player. I don't see him as a sub. Like, and I don't think he can do that job. And I think the longer we carry on with this substitute role, I think the less and less his confidence becomes, and then he probably will end up being loaned out or sold. Like, unfortunately, I can only see it going in one direction. And the other thing as well is Jota can do that. Jota can be a bench player. Jota can come off the bench and play that way. But the biggest thing for me is I just don't think there was any foresight in signing Nunes, because the only way you're going to get the best out of Nunes is if you play your team to Nunes' abilities, and that's what Pep did with Haaland. He played Haaland and then realised, hang on a minute, I need to change the way I play, the way this team runs to fit Haaland, because he is the point and he is the guy that puts it in the goal. Whether he does anything in the game is irrelevant. His job is literally just to kick a ball into the net. Like, he doesn't even have to do any dribbles or anything, or he's just that good. Nunes can be the same, but we don't play to Nunes' strengths. We make him run 30 yards, and by the time he gets to the goal, he's knackered and he misses. Like, that's just not his game. Like, and that's down to the management and the coaching. Sorry, it just is. You don't just sign a guy and go, oh, guess what? You've got to change everything about you to fit us when you've just scored 36 goals in your last season. like as I get him and I go, right, you are a goal machine. Let's make the team work for you. How can we play to make you score goals? Hang on, I'm going to let Albert in. No, carry on, Frank. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, though. Because, like, nobody goes scoring 36 goals or, how many goals the season before and all of a sudden forget how to score goals. You just you just don't.
Especially when you put 2 against us as well. Have you been watching, Albert?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. We're just talking about. What are we talking about? Talking about Nunes now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are talking about Nunes now.
Well, what do you think about that then, Chris? Do you think he was a signing that never had any thought in how he was going to come into the team?
I think
we want him.
Okay, so I think I think currently we don't have a plan. So I think there's a dysfunction from top to bottom in Liverpool. You can tell by the amount of people that's leaving the club to the amount of people that's being brought back into the club. So there's no plan in action. With that being said, I completely agree with your point in regards. Obviously, you can't compare the players, Haaland and Nunes, but there's a similarity in regards to you bringing in a player, and I'm assuming you did all the scouting reports and all the attributes you saw in him you liked, so you brought him in, then make him show those goods that you like. You know what I mean? So I don't see how he's going to fit in if we don't change. At the end of the day, he is our young number 9. I'm assuming he's the future. Then we have to kind of, in a way, I want to say build the team around him, but him scoring his 20 to 30 goals a season in all competitions will help us on the long run. And keeping him on the bench, it's like you're punishing him. Doesn't make sense to me. So
it's all of the crap that came out last season as well about he's not really understood the language and
that to me I'm sorry, but that to me is BS because that language stuff, like, I'm sorry, I'm Colombian by nature, so, but then football's an international language. If you're a striker, the only language you need to know is put the ball in the back of the net. So that's just me. I know that might be a bit harsh for certain people, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's just my opinion on that. Like,
all he needs to know is the players' names.
I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know, because I'm very big on my sports science. That's what I do with my career. Jota has started both games, and he has a hamstring away from missing 3 months again.
I agree.
You have to manage him correctly. I'm sorry. And the same thing for Diaz. He looks great. I'm not going to deny that he looks great. He looks good. It concerned me last game around the 70th mark. Him panting, him slowing down.
He fell over as well. Did you see him fall over? He pulled his groin or something.
And touching his groin and stuff. And it's like, substitute these players, man. This is the thing I get annoyed about Klopp, and people, like you said, right? People love Klopp so much, but they're not willing to talk about his flaws. Oh no, it was Uncle. I think it was Uncle that said it. He moaned about the 5 substitution. He has it. Use it. Use it. We have a long season ahead. We have the Europa League. Protect these players, because we're an injury away. We're 1 injury or 2 injuries away in our attack for us not to have an attack, and then we're sitting here moaning and blaming FSG for it. It's backwards to us, and then it's backwards to us. But hey.
I had this conversation about what you've just talked about on another show, and it was funny because I was saying that Salah shouldn't have been subbed against Chelsea and also against Bournemouth.
No,
and they were saying, he was having a crap game, and I was like, and they were saying, but everyone was tired. Salah's never tired. Okay.
No, but we have to protect him from himself as well. He's getting there in age as well.
I get that. But then it's the case of, he subbed Gakpo, and he left Jota on, and Diaz stayed on, and I'm like, the guys who haven't had the most games and are still trying to get back into full fitness and still need that extra time, just like Virgil van Dijk, when Virgil van Dijk was out for a year and then just got played constantly.
Exactly.
I said that was just pure luck. Pure luck that he didn't break.
That was an ACL waiting to happen again.
He got a hamstring though, didn't he, in that season?
He did. His first hamstring.
He's never had.
Yeah, his first hamstring in his career. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's your red line. But it was a case of you're leaving Jota on, you're leaving Diaz on. Like, they're the guys who are blowing. They're the guys who probably should be rested, because they've just been out for like half a season.
But also,
just swap Gakpo round. Just play someone else on the left wing. Like, you know what I mean? And you're right about the 5 subs. Like, use the fucking substitutes. You didn't lose them last season. You didn't use them last season. You got loads of injuries last season. Yeah. Sorry.
No, but also, K-Mac, you're right. But the fact that my whole thing is, when people look at the data itself for Jota in comparison to Nunes was scoring a goal every 3 games, right? If you look at his stats from last year, Jota was scoring a goal every 4 games. It took Jota almost a year to score a goal, right? And people have short-term memory just because, he's doing well, at the end of the season. They were like, he didn't have a bad season. He did.
It was a whole year, you're right.
Yeah. So the reality of it is, they were like, Jota's so much of a better finisher. Yeah, when he's playing. Thiago is also a better midfielder when he's playing, but how often does Thiago play? And that's the same gripe that people have against Thiago. They say, if he's available, he's the best midfielder at the club, but when he's not available, let's say 35 or 36% of the time, then where did that leave you? With Henderson and Fabinho? Fabinho's legs were gone, and we relied a lot on Thiago. So this year, we don't have the midfielders that we need. I think we still don't actually. We don't have a six. So, I mean, Endo might do a job, but I don't think he'll do, you know.
But to touch on your point, Frank, what you brought up valid points. Like I agree with completely what you said, and I think the issue too with a lot of the fans is, I think Klopp's unwillingness to change is the issue. I think, and Fabinho, because Fabinho should never be at this level in regards to like his fitness.
Right.
Is because of his overuse of Fabinho. He's held down that sixth position for what? 5 years, 6 years by himself.
That's true.
That to me is pure neglection. Like, I don't know.
I've said this to you, haven't I, Chris? It is
Yeah, of course.
literally,
Yeah,
it's
we've had
a
this-
duty of care. It's a duty
Yeah,
of care.
exactly.
Same with Trent, by the way. Same with Trent. It's a duty of care. Like, you should give these guys support.
Yeah, but with Trent, I have a whole different thing about Trent. I think Trent does not try hard enough. He only likes to attack and don't like to defend. And even as a midfielder, when he gave the ball away last time, it was Trent's fault. He was in midfield, actually, when he gave the ball up. He was playing the inverted thing. I mean, a lot of people think like, oh, Trent's going to be great as a midfielder. Not if he loses the ball like that, he won't. Because then we're going to just give away goals over and over again. He's not a six. I mean,
he's not a six.
He's not.
No way, not a six. I'm gonna end this feed now. Okay. It's been really good to have all the guests on.
Thank you, sir.
If you want to like give your channels a shout out, please do. And also big up the chat. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick show, but ended up being nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, please big up your channels if you want.
Yeah, I don't have a channel. I'm thinking of opening one, but I don't know I don't know if it's anytime soon. But yeah, glad to like meet all of you, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.
Big up,
Yeah,
Chris. I'll get you
likewise.
on again. I still need to do that show with you as well, mate.
Yeah, anytime, man. Just let me know, man.
Yeah, I don't have a channel either. I just called in because I didn't agree with what the previous guest was saying, and I've seen.
Okay. Yeah,
it's like
there's
everybody's
a lot of people that
blinded by
do.
Klopp. So I don't know. But
That's
thank
cool,
you
man.
very
Let's go.
much.
Frank, I'll definitely get you on again, mate. When I do another call in, I'll definitely jump in again, mate.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Albert, always a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Yo, take care, bro.
All right, buddy. I'll catch you later, okay?
All right.
Thanks
bye.
everyone for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time on my channel. Up the Reds.